Hello people of YouTube, 'tis I once more, the Crimson Assassin, here today with a top 10 list. But a different top 10 list. What? You're not gonna do a top 10 list about anime? Yes, actually, people of YouTube. And before you get your panties in a wad, I do have a top 10 list that's all about anime. You know, that's in the works. I just gotta film and edit it. So eventually, maybe after I do this top 10 list, I can start editing it, and then maybe like the next day I'll work on it, but who cares? So anyway, excuse me. People of YouTube, there's a certain side to me that I feel like I should share with you all. You see, I'm not always about anime. I love anime, don't get me wrong. Anime will always be my life. Anime will always take up 98% of my day. Okay? I love anime. It is what I would consider to be my I'm so fascinated by anime, like it's not even funny. I love anime. No questions asked. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, like, I've already synced in so many hours into watching anime. Of course I still love anime. So that being said, I also watch some actual regular kind of TV shows. And I feel like I should share these TV shows with you guys. And I know it's very out of character for me, and I always feel like, and I was pretty hesitant on trying to do this video, but I'm gonna say screw it anyway, because I want you guys to see a different side of me, a different side of the Crimson Assassin. And I feel like talking about these 10 TV shows we're gonna discuss today is gonna be, you're gonna get a better insight on me and who I like. Now, a majority of these shows I'm going to mention, they're pretty much animated. And it's kind of funny because I always watch anime and that's always animated. So it's kind of funny how all the TV shows I watch, they're animated, and it's pretty funny if you think about it. But there are a handful of real life shows, like with actual actors and stuff. But I don't have any shows here that's like I don't have any shows here that are like mainstream per se. Like I don't really watch The Flash. I don't watch The Walking Dead. I don't watch Arrow. I don't watch anything on modern television, mainly because I have Netflix. I watch all of these shows, well, some of them at least. About, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see. No, wait. Whatever. A few of these picks on this list, they're shows I always watch on Netflix, especially number 1. So there's that. So people of YouTube, without freaking dilly-dallying, let us get on with this top 10 list. These are my top 10 lists of TV shows that I love. Now keep in mind, people of YouTube, this is my opinion. This is what I think. If you want to share what you guys like, what TV shows you guys love, please leave them down in the comments down below, and I would gladly share with you if I've seen the show. You know, what are my thoughts on it? With that being said, I also have a few honorable mentions, and they go as follows. Honorable mention goes to Family Guy, The Simpsons, South Park, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Robot Chicken, Doctor Who. Yes, I used to watch Doctor Who until it was taken off of Netflix, and that's pretty much it. So just throw it off to the side there. Let's get on with this list. Starting off our list at number 10, we got Rick and Morty. I actually talked about this show on Twitter a while ago, and I pretty much only summed up my love in one tweet, and that is the fact that I freaking adore Rick and Morty. The creativity, the wacky, over the top, insane, bizarre things that the show has to offer is just genius. The show itself is pure effing genius. I love Rick and Morty. I love the characters, the situations, the creativity behind it. It just screams out over bombastic just energy. And I love the characters of Rick and Morty and their banter and their interactions with other things, their interactions between the planets or the dimension that they go to, Morty's constant bickering, Rick's constant, you're being a bitch, Morty. I love Rick and Morty. It is a fantastic, fun, entertaining show. I absolutely love it. It gets number 10 on this list. It is that damn good. And it sucks that it is not on Netflix. Anyway, starting off at number 9 on this list, we got the one, the only, flipping burgers while also dealing with an annoying family. We got Bob's Burgers. Yeah, Bob's Burgers. This was a show that I honestly, when I first saw it, I kind of didn't like, and I thought of just saying screw it and saying, you know, I'm not gonna watch the show ever again. But after really watching the first season, I said, well, I was gonna rewatch it, and then I was gonna just watch it anyway. And guys, I freaking love and adored Bob's Burgers. I love the simplicity of the show and how simple-minded and just easygoing the characters were. So yeah, some of the situation that they get into is pretty mundane, but it's so mundane that it's very tolerable, and it ends up becoming very much entertaining. I love the thought behind the show, and I definitely love the voice acting in the show. I definitely enjoy H. John Benjamin is probably one of my favorite animated voice actors working in California or Hollywood or wherever the hell they animated all these shows to date. I absolutely love his role as Bob in Bob's Burgers. He just gives so much energy and so much flair to his character, and I absolutely adored the other voice actors in the anime. I forgot some other name, but it's always H. John Benjamin that always gets to me. And I'm Gene, by the way. Like in my family, actually, we have like this thing where we pick characters from Bob's Burgers who we are. I'm freaking Gene. I love Gene. Gene is the man. Gene is my boy. No questions asked. Beef Squatch. Beef Squatch. Beef Squatch. My favorite episode of Bob's Burgers. Beef Squatch. I've seen that episode multiple times and it's still hilarious. Anyway, moving on to number 8 on this list is a pretty nerdy comedy from CBS, The Big Bang Theory. Yeah, I don't know how I really started watching The Big Bang Theory. I think my mom actually got me into the show, and I really absolutely just loved it because it just resonated with me. The fact that there's these introverted nerds that, you know, try to cope with day life, and just some of the silly little things that they get into. I love the simplicity of the characters. I love how, you know, how it has so much energy to it, and I definitely dug the show. Albeit, even though lately the show has been suffering a little bit of a decline lately, like causing me to not really watch that many episodes, or at least newer episodes lately, I still really find myself enjoying The Big Bang Theory, and it's definitely a show I will always keep rewatching because it's just entertaining to watch. And let's just leave it as at that. In fact, people of YouTube, I own season 3. In fact, I can prove it. I own season 3. Oh well, it's in this fucking box. But I own season 3 of The Big Bang Theory. It's in there. I'll show it to you maybe later. But I have a copy of The Big Bang Theory season 3. And I know that season by heart. So, it's definitely a fun show. Even I enjoy the show. I have a DVD copy of it. So anyway, but moving on. The one show by Seth MacFarlane that I feel like is still kind of good, but still, I mean, man, but I really still do enjoy and love the show, American Dad. Now, at first, this was a kind of a show I was very iffy on. I didn't think I would really like it or not. But after giving it such a whirl, I did find myself keeping to go back to American Dad. I mean, it's pretty much Seth MacFarlane in his finest. I mean, I feel like he's done a better job in American Dad than he has ever done with Family Guy. Honestly, I love the old Family Guy. I'm not a fan of the newer style of Family Guy. Like, the newer Family Guy is kind of trash. Like, I absolutely hate the new Family Guy. I hate what they did with the characters. I hate how just downhill the show has always kept going. It just suffered a major decline. At least with American Dad, they always try to find stuff to make things new about it. How, and just how over the top the show was, and how pretty entertaining it still is. I definitely dug the show, and it's still definitely a show that I still go back into. It's a fun show to watch. I recommend it, sort of. So if you still like Seth MacFarlane, I mean, sure, he is a fantastic voice actor. But, just don't be too excited if you've never seen A Million Ways to Die in the West, because that movie was pretty mediocre at best. Ooh, okay, so number 6 on this countdown is actually a very new show that is on Cartoon Network, and I feel like this is still the only saving grace that Cartoon Network has to offer, and is this show we're about to talk about that is number 6 on this list, surprisingly, Steven Universe. I just find myself so damn fascinated with this show and how deep its lore and characters were, how fascinating they are, how the characters interact, their different personalities, and I absolutely love the lore behind it. It's very deep, very methodical. It actually touches on very heavy subjects that no dare cartoon, especially in a today modern age, dare lay a finger on. I absolutely enjoyed Steven Universe. It is, even though I haven't really been watching it lately, like, I think I'm still on season 2, and I still have a little ways to go, but it's so good that it's on this list. Like, I freaking enjoy the hell out of watching Steven Universe. It is such a fun, entertaining show to watch. And yes, people of YouTube, Steven and Connie, aw, they're so damn cute. It's so damn innocent. I love their little playful relationship. And of course, Steven and the relationship that he shares with the gems of the anime. Of the cartoon, I really enjoyed. So, definitely a show I enjoy. Definitely a show. Especially, and it's funny because people in my school watches Steven Universe. In fact, one of my, I think, like, he's sort of a close friend of mine. But he is a good friend of mine, and he recommended me to watch Steven Universe. Also, my cousin Nico, who's actually been in one or two of my videos before, he recommended me to watch Steven Universe, and I watched Steven Universe, and I fell in love with it. It's such a fun, entertaining show to watch, and definitely a cartoon. It's still better than all the other shit on Cartoon Network. So, there's that. Number 5 on this list goes to none other than the opposite version of James Bond himself. Archer. This show right here, honestly, the way how I discovered this show is quite the story. So I was bored off my ass one day, and this room used to be my brother's. So I went to this room, and my brother was just sitting there watching TV. He was on Netflix, and one of the shows he was watching on Netflix was this show, Archer. So I ended up actually sitting down there, and actually we watched the show together, and I absolutely enjoyed the show. It actually brought me and my brother, kind of closer together, of course, and I just overall enjoyed the crazy, over-the-top, zany wackiness that Archer is. He's literally the opposite of James Bond, and I truly dug what they did towards the later half of the series when they started switching up things with Archer Vice, and where they're now in the next season after that they were working with the FBI, and then the last season that aired that was on Netflix, and the last episode pissed me the fuck off. Like, I got so upset by that last episode. Like, you have no understanding. Like, I'm in a cliffhanger ending, and it sucks because there's 2 seasons left that they got to do. So I wonder how things are gonna wrap up. I definitely enjoy the voice acting also in the anime. Again, H. John Benjamin as Archer. He is the ideal voice for Archer. I've seen no other person voicing Archer except H. John Benjamin. He's a fantastic voice actor, as well as you also have Jessica Walter, Lucky Davis. Jessica Walter, honestly, she's also a favorite voice actor of mine. Not only that she plays a freaking old badass spy, but she's an old badass spy who literally does not give a single fuck. I love Archer. It is a fantastic, fun show to watch. Come on, Fox, give me that freaking next season of Archer. I need that shit to be on Netflix ASAP. Number 4 on this countdown goes to a show that is also near and dear to my heart. A show that I also kind of didn't like, but then I just started watching it anyway, and I found it to be very fun and enjoyable to watch. Futurama. I honestly have no words to begin to describe Futurama. I enjoyed how creative it was at the time. I mean, like, we all have that vision of the future, flying cars, you know, and just aliens living amongst one another. And I love the world that the creators made with this show. How definitely united the show was, and how it's not like, screw politics. It's like the world's politics and stuff. And it's such a fun show. I love the misadventures of Philip J. Fry, and I also love the characters in the anime. Bender, come on, man. He is Bender Rodriguez. I mean, come on. Leela, Amy Fong, the professor, Zoidberg, and all those other fun, lovable characters. I enjoyed Futurama, and it's definitely a show I always rewatch on Netflix. I do love Futurama a lot. It's one of my favorites. Okay, going back to another sitcom, ladies and gentlemen, we have a show that I'm actually currently rewatching right now, Friends. Yeah, a very old comedy that my mother actually introduced me. Actually, it was my mother and my sister, and we used to bond over watching this show a lot, and I still laugh my ass off watching Friends. And when it came on Netflix, you bet your ass I jumped ship and I was watching Friends, because I enjoyed the show. I love the characters. The comedy is still on point. And yes, people of YouTube, they were on a break. We all knew that. We all knew that. They were on a break. Okay? God. Still my favorite running joke in the show. Like, that's still my favorite running joke. And how Ross just keeps mentioning that him and Rachel were on a break. And it is still funny. And also, this was a show that made me fall in love with Jennifer Aniston. I love Jennifer Aniston. She is like 50, and I still have the hots for her. Like, she is sexy, people of YouTube. Like, damn. She's 50. She's hot. Okay, I'm definitely showing you guys a new side of the Crimson Assassin, okay? Now, my last two shows, these were two shows that are also very near and dear to my heart. And the show that, both of these shows, I absolutely love. One of which I grew up watching the show. I still love the show to this day. And I always want to just find like a collection of it so then I can just rewatch it and just enjoy the show itself again. And that's honestly Avatar, The Last Airbender. Much like Steven Universe, the lore behind the show is what kept me going. I love the deep characters, the deep lore, the situation that the characters will get into, and also the topic of war, or how they address the topic of war, of what happens to someone during war, and the thought of people going through some experience that involved war in these four nations, and how, you know, separated they became, and how it was only up to Aang to unite them together at last. And that episode, that final episode of The Last Airbender, not only it was the single best episode of the entire franchise, but honestly, when I saw that last episode, it made me cry, it made me sad, it made me everything. And to this day, I'll always remember some of the most iconic scenes in The Last Airbender. And I used to remember actually watching marathons of the show, and how they actually had like these did you know facts about them. And when I was reading some of these did you know facts about them, it just gave me so curious and even more to love about the show. I absolutely love The Last Airbender. It's still to this day my favorite show on Nickelodeon. And it is still the best show on Nickelodeon. Like, none of these shows on Nickelodeon nowadays, maybe except The Loud House, and I do enjoy The Loud House a lot. Like, I watch a few episodes here and there of Loud House. Other than that, every other show is irrelevant. I really still love The Last Airbender. And I always wanted to watch Legend of Korra, just never had the time. And the last show, people of YouTube, a show that I always keep going to back at least once a year, a show that I just grew attached to watching the show, and to how deep the characters were, how lovable the characters were, on how I really cared and loved how these characters were. And it's literally a show that my sister literally gets sick and tired of me rewatching. It's such a fun show, a show that's near and dear to me, a show that I have also a season of on disc. How I Met Your Mother. That is my number one show. it's not only a show that I can always rewatch on Netflix, but it's also a show that I always find myself going back to for one reason or another, whether it be to just watch my favorite episode, which is the playbook, or just to see the miscellaneous adventures of Ted Mosby and his quest to find the mother of his kids, and how hilarious all the characters were. Neil Patrick Harris, Josh Radnor, Jason Segel. Although it's kind of upsetting that you barely see Josh Radnor in Hollywood now, so it's kind of upsetting. But I always see Jason Segel. Kobe Smulders, bae. I love me my Kobe Smulders. And Allison Higgins, I think her name is. She is also really solid. Even though I think she's in her 40s. And I also saw some Did You Know videos about How I Met Your Mother, and I absolutely love those facts and how I absolutely enjoyed the show a lot. I do love How I Met Your Mother. It's a show I'll always, no matter what, I will go back to and watch over and over, and it never gets old. Like, I'll tell you, if you were to sit down right now and watch an episode of How I Met Your Mother, I would probably know what the episode was without even looking at the screen. That's how many times I've seen the show. And definitely still to this date, my favorite episode, the playbook. It is still the funniest shit. It's still the most genius episode next to the pineapple incident. And yes, I was aware that was the most viewed episode of How I Met Your Mother. I'm done. Like, people of YouTube, right now, I just feel like watching all these shows all over again, because I really do enjoy all of them. That's gonna wrap this video up, people of YouTube. Stay tuned later on. I have another top 10 list that I want to get out, maybe sometime later on in the week. I don't know, we'll see, depending on how long it takes me to do this video, because I've never done a top 10 list on this new editing app on my new phone, so it's going to be definitely a new experience. I hope it's going to be a little easier than I'm hoping it's going to be. I'm hoping it is going to be a little more easier of experience, and depending if Persona 5 hasn't taken over my life already, we'll see how things go out in the future. So with that being said, people of YouTube, if you would like to see more of this sexy Mountain Dew body, please consider subscribing. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram right about here. And until then, people of YouTube, 'tis I once more the good.